Valparaiso comes out of the Lutheran tradition, and it thrives very much as a university tradition here to focus on training the individual to be able to deal with questions such as, what am I, who am I, and what am I doing on this journey called life?
Jede Nacht kam, ich bin nicht sicher, was ich mag.
Yeah, Nacht is feminine.
Ja.
So.
Oh, ich habe.
I was going to only come here 1 year. I was going to go on into journalism and maybe come here a year and then transfer to a journalism school.
Today we're going to work some of the rhythmically difficult passages and try to get a sense of what this new space sounds like.
But I couldn't leave it after 1 year.
Let's jump ahead and do one of the big tooties.
Why study abroad? I mean, what's the point? I mean, I'm interested in Chinese, so I checked out the Hangzhou program. I'm also a theology major.
As you look back, you can see where the university very much influenced at a time when you're really maturing and developing your personality.
What is the role of study in being virtuous? Because if it's all habit, what is the role of study?
My appreciation for academics and the environment for this thirst for learning and knowledge was cultivated at Valparaiso University.
Very important forecast because we got homecoming coming up, and one of the models is suggesting a big storm.
One of the professors that I had in the government department was a pastor as well as a professor of government. He really brought these two sides, the ethical as well as the academic and the political science background together. And I sort of understood it more and more as time went on, that you really can't separate those two parts of your life. And as you carry out whatever job you're called to carry out, that those two remain together.
But that's further out than I remember it. Okay, so that's the 7-day. All right, so this whole wave then, as it passes by us, moisture's wrapping around it. Nice negative tilt trough, although it's kind of strange
kind of
because.
Funny, yeah.
Good, very nice.
Last week we found out that we were ranked 14th in the nation of Division I schools in women's basketball with a team GPA of a 3.29.
Just putting it all together and seeing the final production of it, and it's like, well, yeah, I did that.
I chose this image because it's from a book by Toni Morrison.
There's a shyness that I see in her eyes, sort of the hesitancy.
For we all know that to fulfill the promise, we must live the promise.
It is the neatest thing to design something, to take something that's on paper and just mess around with it, make it your own, turn it into something that's really your project, and then just make it real.
When I clap my hands the second time, the ship actually moves out of the harbor. When I was here, it's when I was first introduced to this kind of work, the work with masks or the Commedia dell'arte, and it opened up a whole new world of theater, and I continued studying it from the time that I left here.
This is the Hilltop Neighborhood House, and I am here because I'm working with 3 of the nursing professors on a research grant for patient education. Oh, I worked at on the Oneida Reservation in Wisconsin at their community health center.
We interviewed several different students for this particular research grant, and we selected her because of her experience at already working at a clinic for American Indians in Wisconsin.
We talk back and forth in a sort of mentoring circumstance where I can talk directly to the material that's being written.
Even in a pool or something, and you see those rivulets of water streaming up.
But he constantly talks about the fact that you may start a poem just as you did this one, and then live with it for as long as a year or more.
2 4-bar. We've got to make sure that the third is setting on the low side again.
No amount of teaching could teach us to be virtuous if it was completely contrary to our nature.
So when I came back to law school, I really came here because it was the opposite of a big school. It was a small school where you'd have the opportunity to know your professors. I think it places a high premium, not only on academic excellence, but on a holistic approach.
I mean, you keep saying, well, I really need to know more about the context and who the person is and what their motives are and so forth and so on. And this is Aristotle. I mean, Aristotle does not want to give you simple general rules.
Basketball is one of the big sports at Valpo.
With 2.5 left, Sykes long pass. Bill Jenkins through three for the win. Go! Oh my! Valpo wins! Valpo wins! Valpo wins! Valpo wins! Valpo wins! Valpo wins!
To me, the importance of Valparaiso University is that it is preparing the generations of the future, which will be guiding the country and the world, and to have excellence in that training, in moral as well as academic training, I think is extremely important. The founders believed that they were founding a university which would have both academic excellence and then the teachings of the Lutheran Church, which would teach the students to have very high ethical standards. And I think the promise is the promise to future generations to continue to do it, so that not only are they fulfilling what the founders had in mind, but they're continuing to do it and are doing it to an even better degree, I think, to future generations.